A parable told by the Buddha in the third chapter of the Lotus Sutra. A man has an old house, large but very infirm. Its terraces are decaying and the columns rotten at their bases. The windows and balconies are partly ruined, the wall as well as its coverings and plaster decaying. The coping shows rents from age. The thatch is everywhere pierced with holes. It is inhabited by no less than 500 beings, containing many cells and closets filled with excrements and disgusting. Its roof rafters are wholly ruined, the walls and partitions crumbling away. Cotees of vultures nestle in it, as well as doves, owls, and other birds. There are in every corner dreadful snakes, most venomous and horrible, scorpions and mice of all sorts. It is the abode of very wicked creatures of every description. Further, one may meet in it here and there beings not belonging to the human race. It is defiled with excrement and urine, and teeming with worms, insects, and fireflies. It resounds from the howling of dogs and jackals. In it are horrible hyenas that are wont to devour human carcasses, many dogs and jackals greedily seeking the matter of corpses. Those animals weak from perpetual hunger go about in several places to feed upon their prey, and quarreling fill the spot with their cries. Such is this most horrible house. There are also very malign goblins who violate human corpses. In several spots there are centipedes, huge snakes, and vipers. Those animals creep into all corners, where they make nests to deposit their brood, which is often devoured by the goblins. And when those cruel-minded goblins are satiated with feeding upon the flesh of other creatures, so that their bodies are big, then they commence sharply fighting on the spot. In the wasted retreats are dreadful malign urchins, some of them measuring 1 span, others 1 cubit or 2 cubits, all nimble in their movements. They are in the habit of seizing dogs by the feet, throwing them upside down upon the floor, pinching their necks, and using them ill. There also live yelling ghosts, naked, black, wan, tall, and high, who, hungry and in quest of food, are here and there emitting cries of distress. Some have a mouth like a needle, others have a face like a cow's. They are of the size of men or dogs, go with entangled hair, and utter plaintive cries from want of food. Those goblins, ghosts, imps, like vultures, are always looking out through the windows and loopholes in all directions in search of food. Such is that dreadful house, spacious and high, but very infirm, full of holes, frail and dreary. Let us suppose that it is the property of a certain man, and that while he is out of the doors, the house is reached by a conflagration, so that on a sudden it is wrapped in a blazing mass of fire on every side. The beams and rafters consumed by the fire, the columns and partitions in flame are crackling most dreadfully, whilst goblins and ghosts are yelling. Vultures are driven out by hundreds, urchins withdraw with parched faces. Hundreds of mischievous beasts of prey run scorched on every side, crying and shouting. Many poor devils move about, burnt by the fire. While burning, they tear one another with the teeth and bespatter each other with their blood. Hyenas also perish there in the act of eating one another. The excrements burn, and a loathsome stench spreads in all directions. The centipedes, trying to fly, are devoured by the urchins. The ghosts, with burning hair, hover about, equally vexed with hunger and heat. In such a state is that awful house, where thousands of flames are breaking out on every side. But the man who is the master of the house looks on from without. And he hears his own children, whose minds are engaged in playing with their toys, in their fondness of which they amuse themselves, as fools do in their ignorance. And as he hears them, he quickly steps in to save his children, lest his ignorant children might perish in the flames. He tells them the defect of the house, and says, "This, young man of good family, is a miserable house, a dreadful one. The various creatures in it, and this fire to boot, form a series of evils. In it are snakes, mischievous goblins, urchins, and ghosts in great number, hyenas, troops of dogs and jackals, as well as vultures seeking their prey. Such beings live in this house, which, apart from the fire, is extremely dreadful and miserable enough, and now comes to it this fire, blazing on all sides." The foolish boys, however, though admonished, do not mind their father's words, deluded as they are by their toys. They do not even understand him. Then the man thinks, "I am now in anxiety on account of my children. What is the use of my having sons if I lose them? No, they shall not perish by this fire." Instantly a device occurred to his mind. These young and ignorant children are fond of toys, and have none just now to play with. Oh, they are so foolish. He then says to them, "Listen, my sons, I have carts of different sorts, yoked with deer, goats, and excellent bullocks, lofty, great, and completely furnished. They are outside of the house. Run out, do with them what you like. For your sake I have caused them to be made. Run out all together, and rejoice to have them." All the boys, on hearing of such carts, exert themselves, immediately rush out hastily, and reach, free from harm, the open air. On seeing that the children have come out, the man betakes himself to the square in the center of the village, and there, from the throne he is sitting on, he says, "Good people, now I feel at ease. These poor sons of mine, whom I have recovered with difficulty, my own dear 20 young children, were in a dreadful, wretched, horrible house full of many animals. As it was burning and wrapped in thousands of flames, they were amusing themselves in it with playing, but now I have rescued them all. Therefore I now feel most happy." The children, seeing their father happy, approached him and said, "Dear father, give us, as you have promised, those nice vehicles of 3 kinds. And make true all that you promised us in the house, when saying, 'I will give you 3 sorts of vehicles.' Do give them. It is now the right time." Now the man, as we have supposed, had a mighty treasure of gold, silver, precious stones, and pearls. He possessed bullion, numerous slaves, domestics, and vehicles of various kinds. Carts made of precious substances, yoked with bullocks, most excellent, with benches and a row of tinkling bells, decorated with umbrellas and flags, and adorned with a network of gems and pearls. They are embellished with gold, and artificial wreaths hanging down here and there, covered all around with excellent cloth and fine white muslin. Those carts are moreover furnished with choice mattresses of fine silk, serving for cushions, and covered with choice carpets showing the images of cranes and swans, and worth thousands of kotis. The carts are yoked with white bullocks, well fed, strong, of great size, very fine, who are tended by numerous persons. Such excellent carts that man gives to all his sons, who, overjoyed and charmed, go and play with them in all directions. In the same manner, Sariputta, I, the great seer, am the protector and father of all beings and all creatures who, childlike, are captivated by the pleasures of the triple world, are my sons. This triple world is as dreadful as that house, overwhelmed with a number of evils, entirely inflamed on every side by 100 different sorts of birth, old age, and disease. But I, who am detached from the triple world and serene, am living in absolute retirement in a wood. This triple world is my domain, and those who are in it are suffering from burning heat, are my sons. And I told its evils, because I had resolved upon saving them, but they would not listen to me, because all of them were ignorant and their hearts attached to the pleasures of sense. Then I employ an able device and tell them of the three vehicles, so showing them the means of evading the numerous evils of the triple world which are known to me. And those of my sons who adhere to me, who are mighty in the 6 transcendent faculties and the triple science, the Pratyeka as well as the Bodhisattvas, unable to slide back. And those others, who equally are my sons, to them I just now am showing, by means of this excellent allegory, the single Buddha vehicle. Receive it. Ye shall all become Ginas. It is most excellent and sweet, the most exalted in the world, that knowledge of the Buddhas, the most high among men. It is something sublime and adorable. The powers, meditations, degrees of emancipation and self-concentration by many hundreds of kotis, that is the exalted vehicle in which the sons of Buddha take a never-ending delight. In playing with it, they pass days and nights, fortnights, months, seasons, years, intermediate kalpas, nay, thousands of kotis and kalpas. This is the lofty vehicle of jewels which sundry bodhisattvas and the disciples, listening to the Sugata, employ to go and sport on the terrace of enlightenment. Know then, Tishya, that there is no second vehicle in this world anywhere to be found, in whatever direction thou shalt search, apart from the device shown by the Most High among men. Ye are my children. I am your Father, who has removed you from pain, from the triple world, from fear and danger, when you had been burning for many kotis of eons. And I am teaching nirvana, in so far as, though you have not yet reached final rest, you are delivered from the troubles of the mundane whirl, provided you seek the vehicle of the Buddhas. Any bodhisattvas here present obey my Buddha rules. Such is the skillfulness of the Gina that he disciplines many bodhisattvas. When the creatures in this world delight in low and contemptible pleasures, then the chief of the world, who always speaks the truth, indicates pain as the first great truth. And to those who are ignorant and too simple-minded to discover the root of that pain, I lay open the way. A waking of full consciousness, strong desire, is the origin of pain. Always try, unattached, to suppress desire. This is my third truth, that of suppression. It is an infallible means of deliverance, for by practicing this method, one shall become emancipated.